Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your end of October 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So I'm just starting over again, and I didn't get very far at all, but I was laughing because you're the third person I've done, or third sign I've done, and I've gotten the Lover's card for each one. And I think, with Scorpio it was in the same position. I can't remember Libra. So the heart of the matter is the Lover's card, which, we can say is self-explanatory. There is a choice between people that you are thinking about, for sure. That could be what is going on. But beyond that, and also I always bring up the idea of intimacy, physical intimacy versus emotional intimacy. Maybe you have the physical and not the emotional. And that can lead to that sense of, do I commit to somebody? I mean, is commitment even part of this? Sagittarians, and I'm one myself, are not like really big on the word commitment. And it's not because we can't do it. We can do it, but it's just like anything else. When it's forced upon us, that's when we tend to want to run in the opposite direction, because we are very independent. And we also think for ourselves. And this is actually a card of questioning the beliefs that have been handed down. And I was just reading about the Hierophant, which precedes this particular card, and how the Lover's card is informed by, the lovers, they're informed by the Hierophant, which is dictating things on a societal level, but then the individual has to still make their own choice. It's kind of like dogma in religion. What do you believe? Do you take the best and leave the rest? Leave things that don't really seem to reflect your belief system. It's an interesting situation, especially if you're dealing with a choice that has to be made in love, that goes against that tradition. So for instance, if you have been asked by your partner, hey, let's live together, but that person doesn't want to get married. And sometimes this happens not just with younger people, but also with people who have been through a divorce, and they don't want, they have it left a bad taste in their mouth. This is just a card of choice. Maybe you're at a crossroads in your life about something, and it can indicate harmonizing all of the elements that are seeking to pull you in one direction or the other. In the past position, we have the Queen of Wands, and this is a card that's actually associated with Sagittarius, and it is a career woman, maybe a woman who is, also a mother, and perhaps that's the choice that you have to make, is that, do you, if you, let's say you're pregnant, and do you become this domestic goddess, or do you feel like you have to give up that persona of the career woman in order to properly raise your child? And it's funny because in the higher message is the Eight of Swords, which is feeling oppressed by something. But I think the spiritual message here is that your negative self-talk is what is doing it. It's not the outer world that is oppressing you, even though it may feel that way, because you might feel as though it's not fair. Why do I have to make this decision, this sacrifice? The man doesn't have to do it. But then again, the woman is the one giving birth. Now, for those of you who are saying, I have no, my eggs are dried up, or I don't want children, or I'm a man and this has no relevance to my life, the Queen of Wands can be a boss. And I am afraid to say this because I got read the Riot Act when I mentioned the Queen of Wands in the upright position to somebody. They lost it. I said, about the drama queen and things like that, and they said I was describing all these horrible things to the Queen of Wands. Well, I don't get attached to cards. And even in the upright position, I think of people, personalities that I have known that are very sunny, like I assume the Queen of Wands is in the upright position. They're very extroverted, outgoing, but they do have a tinge of overly, being exaggerated in their emotions. Sometimes I think they're attention seeking, and that's why they do that. They overblow things. They can be very pushy. And it's not that they're malicious, but they still are exerting this force that feels to other people not so good. That feels like other people may feel like they are disappearing, in the face of this person because they have no sense of their own voice being heard. And that can feel really bad because the person may not want to do that. And that's just part of their persona. This could be a boss that is overbearing or very demanding or maybe even competitive in a certain way. But actually, I will say that the Queen of Wands can be a very positive type of a boss, a leader, that they can be very encouraging to their staff. And that it all depends on how balanced they are. In the upright position, it is emphasizing the balance, though. So it could simply be that you can't have two fire signs in the same room, even though we're supposed to get along with fire signs. I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't feel as comfortable around them as I'm supposed to feel. But there's something that you have to free yourself from that comes from within, comes from your thoughts. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. The Queen of Wands could be a mother figure, especially a mother figure that is very, kind of in your face. Even if you basically get along with this person, you might feel that they try to force their own values down your throat, and that could be impacting how you feel about this particular situation. What crosses you is the Queen of Pentacles, which is a card of, the person who is the woman who is like the queen of her castle. Maybe that, like I said, that domestic goddess. And that might be something that you reject as a masculine sign. I have a lot of earth in me, and this is a very earthy energy, the gardener, the nurturer of the earth. I happen to have a lot of earth, even though my sun is in Sagittarius. So that is much more something I can embrace. But even I have those moments where I don't want to be, I feel like it's a sense of being tied to, the house. And I'm not in a house, I'm in an apartment, but I mean that sense of, oppression that the Eight of Swords suggests. I can feel that sometimes because Sagittarians naturally want to cut loose and be a part of it. And there might be some reason why you're feeling like claustrophobic. You're feeling like you don't want to tend to the house or tend to the garden and those kinds of matters. Maybe you're even struggling with, maybe there's some money issue that is keeping you and another person from seeing eye to eye. And that might be why you want to work, is because you feel like, hey, I've got to earn my own keep here. I'm not, like for instance, if you are pregnant and you haven't been working and you feel that sense of vulnerability because you're dependent on somebody else for your finances, it can feel very uncomfortable. What's coming in is represented by the Eight of Pentacles. I love the Eight of Pentacles. First of all, it can mean money mojo. But in addition to that, you see the person is hard at work, and there's a real practical, it's Pentacles, it's dealing with the practical area of life. But there's a sense of purpose. There's a sense of wanting excellence, maybe training for something. Maybe you feel like in order for you to be where you want to be, you have to train for it. Perhaps you don't like being a supervisor. If that is like maybe you got promoted and it turns out you don't like it because you feel this sense of Sagittarians don't necessarily want to be to run things like that, to be supervisors or things like that. We want freedom, but we don't necessarily want to have to dictate to others. That's the thing. And people sometimes think that that is the only way that you can attain freedom. No, it's like you do you, I'll do me. But you feel like in order to get to that point where you have that autonomy, you might have to train for something. But it can also be that you say, you know what, I'm going to continue to do a stellar job until something opens up. And then we have the Eight of Wands. This is another card that I got, I think, with Scorpio. And this is about kind of like things just breaking free all of a sudden. And so I said that this is kind of a card for 2020 thus far, the sense of all of us kind of waiting for our lives to begin or get restarted. This sense of being in this holding pattern. And the Eight of Wands is then everything just starts happening. Now, whenever I do these readings that are not like just for a whole month or just for a part of a month, like a typical Sag, it tends to get bigger than what it's supposed to be, what it's intended to be. This Eight of Wands energy, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the solar eclipse in Sag in December, since it's connected to fire energy, that it really, where you really feel like everything is starting to move again consistently, not just start and stop. And that is our new moon. So that would make sense that would feel so freeing or energizing or initiating something. So, as I record this, that is about 2 months in the future. But so what? That's hardly any time at all. Just wanted to give you a heads up about that. In any case, that's what I have for you, Sag. And if you would like a personal reading, I'm mainly an astrologer, so I use the tarot and astrology in a similar way to be philosophical. I do transits, with specific types of astrological readings, but not to emphasize, okay, this is what's going to happen to you, but this is maybe when the universe has a portal open when it's most conducive for this or that happening. Okay, that's what the link to my readings is below. Have a great month. Take the rest of the month. Take care. Bye.